Hey, what's going on, guys? Forex and crypto trading guru back here doing another video for you guys today. And this is actually going to be a short one because I've been making videos here on this channel and I cannot really bang this into your head enough. I'm really trying to target, a lot of newbie crypto people out there, a lot of people who's really been on the fence about investing into cryptocurrencies. I have really been, in the trenches this year, doing a lot of work, like always, as far as day trading, charting, and things like that. And and it's crazy because on the weekly chart for Bitcoin, I sent out a PSA. It was sometime last year. We hit the bottom at around $15,000. My friends, anyone I could advise, we really started to accumulate Bitcoin around $20,000 and $30,000, and then boom, the ETF got approved and we saw this big shoot up. And at the current moment, all of that Bitcoin that I bought between $20,000 and $30,000, I'm already up 300% on my money. Now, we are at a prime spot right now for you to be able to put some money into Bitcoin and other different altcoins, and you are going to be able to make a lot of money. Now, just like I've mentioned in previous videos, if you're someone out there who you're in desperate need of money right now, you're not really thinking about the long term, this is not going to be a investment play for you. I really believe that anything inside of cryptocurrency right now, right? Like when we take a look at videos in the industry, right? Most people, they're so fixated on cycles. When you come into the cryptocurrency industry, as far as Bitcoin is concerned, you will hear a lot about cycles. You will hear a lot about the Bitcoin halving, why it's important, what it does to the supply, what it does to the price, right? I really feel like even though it's held true previous 4-year cycles, it's always held true, right? I really believe that what we're currently faced with right now is something that is completely different than any other 4-year cycle, right? Like, I saw a video yesterday here on YouTube because I watch videos on the platform, just like you guys are sitting there watching me, right? And it seems like there's a common consensus out there that, hey, you know what? We're probably going to max out at $160,000 per Bitcoin this cycle, and then we'll get a 30% correction, 50% correction, right? I am not really in full belief, and I'm going to explain to you guys why, right? For any of you traders out there who has access to TradingView, I want you guys, when you're done watching this video, to do something, right? I want you to open up TradingView, and I also want you to open up Google. First, go to Google, and I want you to look up 2 dates. I want you to look up when was the silver ETF and when was the not Bitcoin ETF, but when was the silver and when was the gold ETF. I want you to get those 2 dates, and once you get those dates, then go over to TradingView and go back on like the weekly or the monthly chart to when the silver and gold ETFs were. And when you pull up and you start from that date on the chart, you will see that both silver and gold, once the ETF was introduced, went completely parabolic. There was not a week or month after that where they went negative. Each week was progressively higher and higher and higher. And this went on for years, right? Years. So now we're currently in a situation with Bitcoin, and this is also going to happen with other, tokens or coins within the industry, right? But with Bitcoin, we just had a ETF happen January, I believe it was, early this year in 2024, right? And we've seen an explosive move of that leading up to the Bitcoin halving. Timing just kind of worked out where they lined up together in the same year, for example, right? So now, of course, we're in this supply shock, and you have a lot of influencers inside of the crypto industry calling for a top of around 160,000, right? And then we get this correction, fall into a bear market like we always do, right? But on the flip side of things, we have two very big things potentially happening 2025, 2026 that, in my opinion, you may not get that 30% correction. You might not get that 50% correction, right? Because if Trump walks into office January 20th, 2025, right? And he decides to say, hey, you know what? I am going to honor everything that I said on the campaign trail. I am going to put Bitcoin in the United States government reserve. I am going to have my buddy Elon Musk in the Department of the United States government that he works in, right? I am going to have him create some very good regulation so we can end speculation. We will have clear regulatory laws here in the United States government for cryptocurrency, right? We will lay out what we actually need, right? This is something you'll probably see within the first 100 days of his presidency, right? Which kind of pushes us out to exactly where some of these influencers here on YouTube are saying we could potentially have a cycle top, right? Which I guess will be at around that 160,000 mark per Bitcoin, right? I don't really believe that price has baked in the fact of clear-cut regulation coming. And it definitely, I don't think, baked in the price of the United States government buying 1 million Bitcoin. Other governments around the world buying Bitcoin. It didn't take into account Microsoft wanting Bitcoin. And if they're entertaining buying Bitcoin, a big company like Microsoft, right? After they do it, if they do it, right, what stops Google from doing it? What stops Facebook? What stops Apple? What stops Nvidia? What stops all of these companies from wanting to get their hands on Bitcoin, right? So that I don't really feel is baked in. Just like how we see these parabolic moves that went on for years after the gold and silver ETF, I really do truly believe that we could potentially see the exact same thing happen with Bitcoin, where we never, like I said, get that pullback, or at least that deep pullback. Like if we get a pullback, it might be 10, 20%, but I really think those days of seeing 30, 50, 80% drawdowns in the market are really over. I'm going to be honest with you guys. And I don't want to sound like a crazy bull here, but can you just imagine, and I'm going to leave you guys with this point, but could you imagine we never get that pullback? We go into 2026. We're still pumping, no pullback. Going to 2027, even into the next halvening 2028, without ever seeing that 50 to 80% pullback. You should definitely go ahead and get yourself some Bitcoin now.